This is the fourth video in a series of 5 videos covering the chapters of the book, How to Develop Your Personal Mission Statement by Stephen R. Covey. In this video, we will discuss Chapter 4, Your Highest Ideals. When we talk about a personal mission, many people immediately think about professional goals, financial figures, career, or external achievements. However, the proposal of this chapter goes further. It invites us to reflect on the principles, values, and highest ideals that truly influence our choices. And when we think about financial prosperity after age 40, this topic becomes even more relevant. That's because at this stage of life, many already realize that wealth is not only about having, but about being. Being who? Being the author of your own story. After 40, we go through something interesting. We begin to identify what really matters. What once seemed urgent now reveals itself as superficial. And what we used to neglect, such as emotional security, time freedom, legacy, and purpose, begins to have real value. This maturity pushes us toward a reflection. Where do our decisions come from? Which principles guide us when life gets tight? And do our financial results reflect our essence, or just our reactions? The chapter brings up an important point. Every person has a center, an internal place from which decisions, behaviors, and priorities arise. Some are centered on work, others on approval from others. Some live according to fear, and there are those who live guided by money. But when your center is external, your decisions become unstable because everything external can change. True prosperity requires internal stability. To prosper after 40, we need to identify what our center has been up to this point. Many times, debt, impulsive choices, or emotional imbalance arise because we are trying to fill inner voids with consumption. We buy not because we need something, but because we crave validation, belonging, or relief. A well-constructed personal mission breaks this cycle. It redefines the criteria for choosing. And when the criteria change, behavior changes. And when behavior changes, financial results change. One of the questions proposed in the chapter is, what gives you a sense of personal value? Is it status, the opinion of others, appearance, or your principles? People who rely on internal values become more resilient in economic crises, political instability, or unexpected setbacks. They continue to grow because they do not depend on circumstances. They depend on purpose. And here arises a challenge. Writing a personal mission can feel uncomfortable. It requires looking inward. It requires recognizing fears, patterns, and beliefs. It requires admitting that maybe we lived for years on the defensive, reacting instead of creating. But this discomfort is valuable. It marks the beginning of transformation. The chapter warns of a common trap. When someone writes their mission only for themselves, describing superficial desires such as, I want to have this, I want to have that, they lose the chance to access a deeper dimension. Prosperity does not come from a shopping list. It comes from understanding who you truly want to be in the world. More than possessions, it's about identity. More than achievements, it's about meaning. And when we think about the mature stage of life, many people believe it's already too late. But it's actually the opposite. After 40, we have baggage, experience, and analytical ability. This is the perfect terrain for building a solid mission. Younger people often construct their identities in a hurry. Mature people build with depth, and prosperity is linked to depth. The chapter also encourages us to observe which fears influence our choices. Fear of losing, fear of failing, fear of judgment. These fears are responsible for bad decisions. They keep us stuck in consumption to relieve anxiety, in debt to maintain appearances, and in excuses to justify stagnation. When a personal mission is aligned with internal values, fear loses strength. Money stops being an end and becomes a means for development, freedom, and contribution. An essential point presented is identify who you admire. The people we admire reveal our hidden ideals. Observe, the greatest examples are not famous. They are people who contributed, who generated impact, who lived with integrity. When you define your mission based on such models, your financial mindset matures. You begin to seek prosperity that builds, not prosperity that merely flaunts. Prosperity after 40 is not about chasing losses, it's about taking the wheel. And for that, a personal mission works like a compass. When you follow internal principles, you know when to say no to illusory opportunities, dangerous shortcuts, and sabotaging habits. Many financial crises begin when we say yes automatically. Another point mentioned in the chapter is that a personal mission needs to reflect who you are at your highest potential. Not who you were, not who your past tried to define, but who you can become. By writing your intentions, you begin to shape your identity, and identity changes behavior. This is the psychological trigger that changes financial direction. Imagine if 10 years ago, you had decided to live guided by your highest principles. What would your life look like today? This question is not to create guilt. It's to awaken present responsibility. We cannot change the past, but we can guide the future. The chapter also highlights that mission is not limited to the professional sphere. It includes family, health, relationships, learning, spirituality, and contribution. A balanced life produces sustainable prosperity. How many people have we seen become financially rich but emotionally bankrupt? After 40, we realize that prosperity without purpose is only weight, and purpose without prosperity is only intention. We need both. When developing your mission, ask yourself, what moves me in major decisions? Which principles are non-negotiable? Where does my sense of security come from? These answers reveal the center of your inner world. And to prosper, that center must be solid. A final element presented in the chapter is the idea of contribution. The people we most admire are those who gave something to the world. Giving changes the internal narrative. People who contribute feel less fear, less scarcity, less comparison. Contribution expands identity. An expanded identity generates expanded prosperity. So, when reflecting on your personal mission, understand, it is not just a philosophical exercise, it is a strategic tool for prosperity. A clear mission protects you from impulsive debt, distances you from toxic environments, helps you choose more aligned careers, develop new skills, and build a legacy. If you want to prosper after 40, start from within. The market changes, opportunities change, technologies change. Internal principles do not. When your mission is grounded in values, you prosper with consistency. Write your mission. Rewrite if necessary. Refine it. Deepen it. Test it. Adjust it. It's not about perfection, it's about direction. And when direction is aligned with your highest ideals, money becomes the natural consequence of a coherent life. If you believe you deserve more in your financial life, the link below in the first comment is for you. So, did you like this video? Then help us out. Like, comment, share, and turn on the bell after subscribing to the channel.